Hello, Dave here. It's freezing cold. Overcast, so where else could I be but Scarborough? Always the same when I come here. I haven't got the rain today. But this is just a little Scarborough seafront mudflood video while I walk back the hotel. Firstly, just the gap over there. You have open sea. Now, we're not at high tide. At high tide, when the weather's really bad, water can quite often come up over the pavement, right? So why? Why would you allow that? What architect in the right mind would design a house that's going to get battered several times a year with sand and water and all the rest of the stuff? Oh God, hang on, where these cars get past. Right, we're back over this side now, over the other side of the road now. Here we go, as I was saying, you know, that door's 3 foot high. And you can see it goes down. So this is what you call a mud flood house. Sometime, over the course of time, these street levels have rose quite substantially, leaving things like this. I mean, you wouldn't do that in a normal street, let alone when you've got the North Sea behind you, you know, 10 foot behind me. So what I'm going to do is move along the seafront a bit, and I'll show you a few other things. See, I mean, here's another door here. You know, it's tiny. But hey ho, I'm right just a bit further down the road. It's definitely a mud flood building, but some of the things, after you've been looking at these buildings as long as I have, you can tell the ones that I believe were built before the Victorian date's given. With capacitor on the top there. They would have had another one sat on that side once over, one on that side once over. You can actually follow, like you can, as I say in all my videos, you can follow these columns down, right the way down to the modern tartap, as I call it, the bottom layer of this place. Now it does have cellars, I know that, but another building just next to it, and move around a bit. You know, it's an old world building. It was built in a time when the streets were a lot lower than what they are now. Yeah, one of those things that sounds mental, but if you go away and do a bit of research, you can find out these things to be true. But there is a few these wonderful old buildings still on the seafront. I'll move along from the other side, see if I can get a better angle of it. Right, back around the other side a bit. It's the roofs that always attract me to these places. And you see there's another one there where I call ball capacitor. One would have definitely been on there. You can see where it's snapped off. See, follow the columns right the way down. But you see, when you're talking about old world buildings, if I just come back on myself a bit, see, I don't know much of Scarborough's history. I'd like to, if these were built in the Victorian times, the ones I'm going to show you now, there should be plenty of pictures, there should be plenty of photos. Oh God, fans in the way now. It's actually the public convenience now. You know, beautiful historic buildings like this turned into Willow. Just move around a bit. You know, you'd have the full row studios in there. There's bits and pieces of all sorts. But it's definitely what I would call a pre-reset building. You know, there might be some early photos kicking about that show a time when this wasn't here. And if there is, I'd like to, you know, see them, try and find them. Because this goes right the way down. Actually, that one looks more modern than what this one does. I mean, it's not specific down there, so I won't wander down, but the other thing as well, if you go up any of these streets here, you'll see, once you get round the corner up there, right way along the streets on both sides, you can see the grills just outside the shop fronts. If you look down, you can quite often see the old windows down there. Anyhow, sweet shop, look, lovely building like that. Lovely brickwork up there like that. Anyhow, rambling on a bit now. Let's move on a bit. Just a little bit further along, but there's one thing I want to point out, if I can. Right, there's no buses going past. Shows you the difference, how much is buried. See, that house here, right up there is where the front door is. You've actually come out the back. You've actually got 4 floors. That's going back to the gift shop. You've actually got 4 floors below street level. I mean, I've actually been up there and had a look down. What you can't see very much, but there's a hell of a lot of building rubble in there as well. There'll be another building next to it once over, I would have thought. It's just these little odd anomalies. Right, move along a bit further. I don't think there's that much to see, much more on the seafront anyway, because there's been quite substantially renovated. But anyway, we'll have a look.